All right, this is Geometry A Unit 6, Lesson 5. We're talking about parallel lines and the angles formed. So let's do some definitions, some vocabulary, because that's really what most of this section is about. If I have two lines, let me draw two parallel lines, and they're crossed by a transversal. Transversal, trans meaning across, versal, transversal means to cross. So line L is parallel to line M. L is parallel to line M, and T is a transversal, meaning that it crosses lines L and M. You'll notice that 8 angles are formed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. What's more is certain angles will come out as congruent. Okay. Let's say, for example, that angle 2 here measures, let's say it measures 60 degrees. Then you'll find that angle 3 also measures 60 degrees. And we call those two angles vertical angles. Vertical angles are formed when two lines cross. And vertical angles are congruent. Okay? You'll notice that angle 2 seems to be the same size as angle 6. Those are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay, let me go ahead and give you some examples of vertical angle pairs and corresponding angle pairs. Vertical angle pairs are angles, well, here we go. Vertical angles are angles 1 and 4, angles 2 and 3, angles 6 and 7, angles 5 and 8. Those are vertical angle pairs, the angles opposite each other when two lines intersect. Corresponding angles are like angles 2 and 6. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 6 because they're corresponding angles. Angles 1 and 5 are corresponding angles. Angles 3 and 7 are corresponding angles. Angles 4 and 8. So corresponding angles are basically angles that are in the same orientation. 2 is in the upper right, 6 is in the upper right, corresponding. 1 is in the upper left, 5 is in the upper left, corresponding. 3 is in the bottom left, 7 is in the bottom left, corresponding. 4 is in the bottom right, 8 is in the bottom right, they're corresponding. Okay, so in this case, angles 2 and 3 are 60 degrees, and angle 6 is 60 degrees. And 6 and 7 are vertical angles, so they're 60 degrees. Okay, so we've got two sized angles here. But if we look at angle 1 and 2 make 180 degrees. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is 180. Right? And if the measure of angle 2 is 60 degrees, then the measure of angle 1 plus 60 is 180. Subtract 60, and the measure of angle 1 must be 120 degrees. 120 degrees. Okay? And by the same logic as before, angle 1 is the same as angle 4, so that's 120 degrees. Angle 1 is the same as angle 5. They're corresponding angles. They're 120 degrees. And angle 8 is the same as angle 5 because they're vertical angles, 120 degrees. Okay? So vertical angles are angles opposite each other formed by intersecting lines. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same orientation, upper left, top right, bottom right, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but there are other angle pairs that to be named as well. there are alternate interior angles. Okay, alternate interior angles are alternate. They're on opposite sides of the transversal T, but they're interior. So angles 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles. Angles 4 and 5. Angles 3 and 6 are alternate interior angles. See, they're on opposite sides of the transversal and they're interior. Alternate interior angles 3 and 6. There are same side interior angles. Same side interior. Okay, those are angles 3 and 5. And notice they're not congruent. They add to 180 degrees. The word for that is supplementary. Supplementary angles add to 180 degrees. Okay, so angles 3 and 5 are same side interior because they're both on the same side, the left side of the transversal, and they're interior between the crossed lines. 4 and 6 are same side interior angles. 4 and 6. Okay, we also have alternate exterior angles. Okay, now alternate exterior angles are angles like 2 and 7. They're alternate and they're exterior. 2 and 7. 1 and 8. Okay, alternate exterior angles. Okay. And then finally, there are same side exterior angles. Same side exterior angles are angles like angles 1 and 7. See, 1 is on the left, 7's on the left. They're both exterior. They're both outside the crossed lines. 2 and 8, same side, right side. Exterior, 2 and 8. So basically, interior angles are angles between the crossed lines. Exterior angles are angles outside the crossed lines. Same side means they're on the same side of the transversal, either both on the left or both on the right. And alternate means they cross over. They're on opposite sides. These are alternate angles. These are alternate angles. Okay, and don't forget, vertical angles are across from each other when two lines intersect. Vertical angles. Okay, and you'll notice all these pairs of angles are either congruent or supplementary. Okay, so let's go here, blue. Vertical angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Same side interior angles are supplementary. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Same side exterior angles are supplementary. Okay? And then there was mention made of something called the converse rule. Basically, all of these are if L is parallel to M, then each one of these is true. If L is parallel to M, then vertical angles are congruent. Corresponding angles are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Same side interior angles are supplementary. Same side exterior angles are supplementary. The converse flows the other way. If I say the converse of the corresponding angle postulate or corresponding angle theorem, what I am saying is, if corresponding angles are congruent, then that means that the lines are parallel. So if we're concluding the lines are parallel, then we're using the converse rule. All right. That is parallels.